Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Arrow episode 2 video. We finally got to meet the Ragman character, so just careful for spoilers from the episode if you haven't seen it yet. So we meet new Team Arrow, we have Artemis, we have Ragman now. I'll talk about Ragman especially because I felt like he probably had the best arc in the episode as it applies to putting the new team together. There was some nice symmetry between his character, Oliver's character, their fathers sacrificing themselves to protect them, as well as like symmetry with the flashbacks. The narrative structure of the episode was great. And for those of you that are still thinking that Tommy might be Prometheus, there were a couple moments in the episode that I felt like provided some evidence for that, but it's still kind of up in the air. The way they're flanging his voice, like the way they're modulating his voice, makes it sound like it could be a man or a woman. They just want to be as ambiguous as possible about it. But I think it all goes back to the idea of Oliver doing all the wrong things up to this moment. You know, like that speech that he has with Ragman, I don't want to fail anymore. So the thing that he does to not fail anymore with the new team is to reveal his identity. So we'll say like number 10, Prometheus theory. Like this just casts some more evidence for Tommy, but I don't necessarily think that it's Tommy, but I do think that it's fun to talk about. Oliver trusting people or not trusting people, failing in season 1, you know, up to this point, so pretty much all the seasons up to now. Maybe if he had trusted Tommy and revealed his identity to him, he would not have died during season 1. So number 9, Prometheus reveals himself to Tobias Church. You almost killed him, he's mine, I had the right to kill him. I think this is the first time we've heard them speak their name out loud. So Prometheus, still very mysterious, but probably slowly trying to make Oliver pay for all those mistakes that he himself said that he had been making this whole time. I've been failing this whole time. Just remember, it all comes back to that. A lot of the problems that Oliver has this season will be a direct result of decisions, mistakes that he made in previous seasons. Prometheus being the most personal one. So like it sounds like Prometheus will be somebody that he failed either through the actions, like the list, somebody that he killed, someone's family, if it's going to be a very comic booky twist, or they can make it really personal, but just Prometheus, the idea of like the modern Prometheus, you know, like Frankenstein, somebody that was resurrected via science, or the idea of the Greek Prometheus, the person who stole fire from the god, like tricked the gods in order to help man. And who were the gods of the Arrow universe, if not the Green Arrow, the Flash, like the other members of the Justice Society? But we need a little more context to kind of narrow down the choices in terms of who Prometheus could be. Number 8 though, failing, a big theme of the episode. Quentin, totally epic fail on the job. So Quentin is in like after school special mode. He's doing his best Oliver impression from before the Queen's Gambit. Like the douchebag version of Oliver, just drunk all the time, just a complete mess. So of course Thea offers him the job of deputy mayor. I guess she's trying to give him a reason to be sober. Like his reason to be sober before was his family. He doesn't have them anymore because one of them's dead, the other one's lost in time. So Thea's like trying to do the right thing. So Thea's actually doing a really good thing, even if it did feel like an after school special. I didn't like the scene, but I do like what they're doing with the character. Number 7, Oliver puts that new team together. Ring that bell. Just a great montage of him kicking the shit out of them. You get a Robin Hood joke, nice wordplay with him sticking Roy and Barry with arrows as he was trying to train them, and symmetry with the flashbacks with him having to ring the bell with the Bratva. So number 6 is the way the Bratva flashbacks totally shit on the ideology of new Team Arrow and trusting people. Like the way it was edited was great too, because you go from Oliver like trusting people and it working really great in present day to immediate flashbacks whereby like he rings the bell and all the people that help him get shot down. So just yanking the rug right out from under him. Number 5, intro to Ragman. I was so happy they went comic book Ragman with this. Now there are like a few changes. So in the comics, Ragman's cloak is made from the tatters of the villains whose souls he's absorbed. So like when he defeats someone, like when you see him sticking the rags down people's throats, suffocating them on the TV show, that's kind of like the TV show's version of the cloak in the comics absorbing their souls. So they did tone it down just a little bit, but the cloak itself is a magical item. Like they say, it's 2,000 years old, and it's radioactive because of the explosions at Haven Rock, which we learn is where Ragman is from. But like in the comics, Ragman is a slightly more mystical character, so he'd be like a prime candidate for a Constantine crossover, so they might save some Ragman stuff for the next time Constantine shows up, like that 2,000 years old thing. Like the way he explains it to Oliver, it sounds like he doesn't fully understand the history of the cloak. He just knows that it's very old. It's like a family heirloom that's been passed down. So that'd be something that you would let Constantine explain to him. But as far as I know, there is no Constantine appearance that's scheduled this season. But they did say that they're going to bring him back as soon as possible. Not just on Arrow, but like on Legends of Tomorrow, the other DC shows. So number 4 is actually like the Felicity plot that you probably picked up on during the episode where he's narrating his backstory. I was at Haven Rock. I'm going after the people responsible for the nukes, which is the Ameritech company. And then probably once he finds out that Felicity is the one that diverted that missile that blew up his home, there'll be all kinds of drama between them too. But aside from people getting really excited at the thought of him choking Felicity out, I don't think that anything's really going to come of it. I mean, one of the big ideas of being a hero is learning about forgiveness, so of course he's not going to kill Felicity as revenge for his family dying. In the meantime, though, Felicity is going to feel super guilty about Haven Rock. Like they tease that that's where Felicity's story is going to flow from the first part of the season. Just, dealing with the emotional fallout as well as, maybe some like the literal radioactive fallout from Haven Rock. But nice parody with, number 3, Diggle's storyline, where his military team tries to frame him stealing one of the Genesis devices. So you kind of see how Diggle's going to make his way back to Team Arrow eventually. Like he'll have to come back either because he's court-martialed or just because he wants to get away from that bad situation. So they did a really good job of like weaving together the idea of putting new teams together the right way, the wrong way, like in the flashbacks, and then kind of subverting that with Diggle's storyline, being like, sometimes you can't trust your team. But my number 2 favorite moment was probably the clinic scene where Oliver was there as the mayor and the Green Arrow, kind of trying to play both sides, like the people there, the Ameritech people as Mayor Queen, and protect them as the Green Arrow without really revealing anything to his team. So there's just like a lot of funny wordplay, like a scene within a scene. So it's a training moment for the team, but it's also like a big Mayor Queen moment. They've really been downplaying the mayoral storyline too, so I feel like that's going to come to a head. Like Oliver trying to double time training the team as well as running the city is just going to go horribly for him. But number 1 moment, I'd say probably all the Ragman takedowns. I feel like they did a good job with the effects. The conception of the character is good. Like it's going to be a meaningful thing for the other characters on the team just because they tied it back to Haven Rock and they weaved in a really awesome mythological element with a 2,000-year-old cloak that has a mind of its own. So I tend to like characters like that just a little bit more, like when they have this implied history, even if they don't totally understand it. So let me know, what was your guys' favorite moment from the episode? What do you think about the Ragman character? And how do you like the way they're weaving the flashbacks in with the present day scenes? I feel like it works so much better this season. So just a reminder though, next week, Stephen Amell versus Cody Rhodes rematch. Payback is a bitch. So what's going to happen next is I'm going to do an Aquaman Mira video. They just revealed what Mira's costume is going to look like in the Justice League movie and in the Aquaman movie. So be sure to subscribe to get that. And Legends of Tomorrow Justice Society Episode 1 drops tomorrow. So I'll be posting that after it airs. They're introducing a whole bunch of new characters. They've completely torn the show apart and rebuilt it. So it's not going to look anything like it did during Season 1, which I feel like was a bit of a mess. So Justice Society dropping Thursday night. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my Flash Dr. Alchemy video, and you can click here for my Supergirl Metallo trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.